So hello guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is actually a premiere. So welcome to the premiere, and in this video is showing the stats of the Aston Martin Falcon, Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sport, and the Aston Martin Vantage GT12, as well as 11 out of around 55 minutes worth of races that I had recorded during the European season. One multiplayer season. Yeah, so here's showing the stats of the different cars that are used in the season, namely the two that I use most frequently, the Vantage and the Porsche. And on our first race in Scotland, we are using our Aston Martin Vantage GT12 against two Ferrari F40s, one Porsche Club Sport, two Volkswagen W12 Coupes, another Vantage, and one Falcon. And I kind of don't know why I got into that grass section there, but nonetheless we're still able to keep our lead. And keep your eyes open for a stunt that we are going to go off on this hill. In 3, 2, 1. The car does a very fast forward barrel roll that firstly gave a lot of nitro to prolong my shockwave, and secondly gave me a huge speed boost to get ahead and lead the pack with the first place guy with me in second place. And I believe that was what gave me an edge over everyone else, but here I was unable to barrel roll off the ramp, but nonetheless we still kept our position pretty well, so that was the least of my concerns. And the guy wrecked at some point, the first place guy wrecked at some point over there, so we are able to overtake him and get the victory in this race, although the second place guy, the Club Sport, was catching up to us pretty fast at the end of the race, but nonetheless we still take the victory in that race. And in the next race in Nevada, we are using our Vantage against one Club Sport, one Ferrari Roma who came in last, one Renault RS01, one Bentley Continental GT3, one other Aston Martin Vantage, and two Volkswagen W12 Coupes. And yeah, basically that's our competition, and we are racing on Nevada. And there's actually something very weird about Nevada. It's not that there are more variants of Nevada than they are in the Asphalt version of it. It's just that there will be a very funny section later. And the reason why I went all the way to the left when I could have went to the inside of the hairpin turn, and why I crashed into this, is because for the hairpin turn it was because I knew I couldn't make it, so I wanted to be safe, although it was a longer way. And the reason why I crashed into that pillar on purpose, actually it was on purpose, I don't admit it was on purpose, was because in Asphalt 8 the pillars are basically you can knock them down. And actually throughout, from the where you land on the ramp and all the way through this curve, and excluding after the curve and all of that, it's actually rough terrain, so you have to have a good nitro efficiency bar with a full nitro bar to get over that section without losing a lot of speed. So you may want to use a good nitro efficiency car also, and probably the Trail Nemesis won't do so well on this track unless you're pretty skilled at managing your nitrous, which some Asphalt 8 veterans should, because nitro was a key sustenance in Asphalt 8. And on to our next, and in that race it came in 4th place. And on to our next race on New York, which I did not see the completion after the race because I was kind of pissed, because there was it didn't go very well for me. Firstly because I had a bad connection and all of that, and in many of these races you can't read from the position indicator, because sometimes my bad connection, they just they didn't well update my position properly, and neither did they update my opponent's position correctly, so I could not accurately tell which position I was in. And to give some advice on New York, right, when you're turning to the right on one of the 90-degree turns, right, you have to go to the left more and drive a bit earlier, and vice versa for, well, basically the entire thing. And yeah, that's basically how you tackle the downtown New York section. And we are comfortably in second place, not too bad of a position, and we are not having a lot of problems with keeping ahead. except for the section in front where I had to wall ride. With wall riding being a very new concept to me because I didn't really know how to wall ride because wall ride needed a strategy, and here that Volkswagen distracted me a bit, so I aimed wrongly and I did not aim for the road and I got put in 3rd place. But I was able to keep ahead of this guy who was on my tail for the very last seconds of the race, but nonetheless we came in 3rd place. And on our next race on the Caribbean, we are using our Aston Martin Vantage GT12 against 3 other Vantages, one Porsche Club Sport, one Renault R01, one Aston Martin Vulcan, and one Bentley Continental GT3. For the Bentley and the Renault, I realized there's only one of these cars in the race, but there will only be one of these cars in the race. And that was a barrel roll, which I don't know how that happened. It just slid on my side, but of course, the game wanted me to pay for that because they thought I should have ran on the barrel roll, so they wrapped me on that. Yeah, the division over there. And what I meant by the Renault and the Bentley being there's one in the race, but there's only one in the race. What it means that you will always see one of these cars in a race, but you will only always see one of these cars. You never see 2, never see 3, but you always see one of these cars in practically every single race, especially in Novice, Rookie, and Pro League, which I managed to get the Pro League for the first time in quite a while because I wanted to make this video. Yeah, and I'm aware that the GT Echelon Trial Series is happening concurrently with the Epic Pre. I'm not going for the Epic Pre, I didn't even qualify for it because I was saving up fuel for the GT Echelon multiplayer video, so I'm not going for the first Epic Pre that came in Asphalt 9. But nonetheless, there'll be content about the GT, yeah, after all. And on to our next race on Shanghai Pudong Rise, we are using our Vantage against one other Aston Martin Vantage, 4 Porsche Club Sports. They are really popular, and they use this taxi as a brand. And one more Renault, which is also in this race. And I was supposed to 360 of that ramp, but the command didn't really work well. So yeah, and yes, I do have a recommended route for Pudong Rise, which is to 360 of that ramp, which I didn't 360 off because the command have failed or something. And also 360 everywhere until you get the long straight section of the yellow nitro bar somewhere there. And yeah, that's basically it. And I would like you guys to give me some advice on what C-Class car I should really pressing get, like I should really get almost immediately, because although the DSE 10s can get me to go late where I will have the Asterion to use, I still do not have the Dodge Viper at enough stars, and I do not have the Acura 2017 NSX at all, so I need some advice on other good cars to get. And here I do mess up a bit because I do have trouble after taking the new route from the tunnel. But nonetheless, we came in 2nd place in our Aston Martin Vantage. And on our next race on the Caribbean, we are finally seeing the Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sport in action. And we are facing 4 Volkswagen W12 Coupes, 1 Aston Martin Vantage, 1 other Club Sport, and 1 Bentley Continental GT3. And I didn't go out the ramp there, and as I said earlier, there's always one Bentley in the race, but there will always only be one Bentley in the race. It's like how there's always one Renault in a race, but there will always be only one Renault in every race. And because of my earlier wreck over there, near the division over there, I tried to drift a bit more and a bit harder, although it will cost me a bit of speed, but it didn't matter. I just didn't want to wreck. And I apologize if the driving looks very trash, because I was screen recording and it was lagging, so I didn't know where I was, and I could not control the car properly. And yeah, but nonetheless, I picked out 18 minutes or 11 races out of the 55 minutes worth of races that I had recorded. So these are the very best races. No, I mean, they are not the very best races, but some of the very best races, and some races which I want to give some feedback about, and some funny races like what the AI was doing over there, what the Volkswagen. I don't understand what happened over there. And on to our next race on New York, with our Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sport. We are facing 2 other Club Sports, 2 W12 coupes, 1 Aston Martin Vantage, 1 Renault and 1 F40. And I do realize the F40 isn't as good as it seems because I used it twice and it didn't really work out for me, and yeah, I stopped using it for practically the entire season, and yeah, it wasn't that effective after all. And I also did say that the Renault there's always one in a race, but there will always only be one in a race. I don't understand why people still use the Renault, but not a lot of people use the Renault. I'm pretty confused about that. So yeah, and I do realize that all the tracks that we've been given so far, they are always on the same variants, especially the Caribbean. Keep getting the Caribbean track. I have no idea why. And New York seems to be a bit repetitive, although not most of the time, but some of the tracks are pretty repetitive. And please do stay till the video. 7 minutes left, okay? 7 minutes left to the end of the premiere. Please do stay till the end because there will be a track that has not been that will not be featured in the first 10 races, but only in the 11th race. And in this race, it come in first place, and I believe this was the race I reached Gold League. And quite a bit of races are in Gold League. These are not sequential. I took out some rearranges. These are not sequential. And on our 8th race, where we are back with our Aston Martin Vantage GT12 against 3 Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sports, 2 Renault RS01s, 1 F40 and 1 Bentley. And up here you will see how to do this segment properly. You have the 360 over, and somehow this guy knocks me down, although I was 360 at that time, and it should have worked the other way around. I have no idea what happened there, and there's a bit of gap there, so I 360 because I'm extra nitros and to make up for the missing 360 earlier on. Yeah, but I don't really get left behind because I'm able to quickly catch up because there's a F40, there's a Bentley, there are Renaults after all, right? So I could catch up fairly quickly. And fun fact, just in case you guys didn't know, I think most of you guys should know, but it comes as a fun fact to me that the Renault RS01 is the first Renault to be added into Asphalt 9. And I find that a bit peculiar because I don't know, because there are more Renault cars in Asphalt 8, like the Renault Trezor, which is crazy natural efficiency piece. And yeah, I was kind of surprised when the Renault I discovered there were no other Renaults in Asphalt 9 other than the newly added RS01, which was supposed to be called the Renault Sport RS01. I don't know what they took out the Sport. Maybe he didn't like doing sports, I don't know. And in their previous race, it came in 4th place. And in the next race on New York, we are using our Vantage against 2 other Vantages, 2 Porsche Club Sports, 1 Renault, 1 Vulcan and 1 W12 coupe. And we do overtake this Vulcan because he has actually pretty bad handling, because I just don't know why a lot of A-class cars have bad handling. Like my LaFerrari 2-star one, because it has horrendous handling, can't get around turns and all that. And the Vulcan, which has a very low drifting speed, I can't tell because those are my only 2 class A cars. And here we do a 4th barrel roll, which gave us the advantage we needed. And at the same time, we are cautious not to hit the wall. I don't know why I was so cautious. I could have just hit the wall. I don't know. And back there was a pile of traffic, a pile of buses and taxis lined up over there. No idea what that was for. No one could have knocked into them. I don't know why they are lining up the traffic over there. I just don't understand. But nonetheless, I am able to round the New York turns unsuccessfully, and we are kind of left behind a bit, but we are able to maintain a 3rd place in the last 10 or 20 seconds of the race. And I did that 360, yeah, just did it for the sake of doing it, and we come in 3rd place. And on our next race on Nevada, where we will see some crazy things happening, I'll put it that way. And our competition is 1 Club Sport, 2 W12 coupes, 1 Vantage, 1 Bentley and 1 Renault. And over here I saw a message, and wrecked because I was kind of distracted, you know. But I don't really blame it on Sander because I was helping him go over like a cyberbully, you know. Because someone had used some really very wrong, very insulting, and very dirty words and all of that. So I wanted to help him get over it because it was kind of very hype in a way. Like he was pretty like desperate for help and all of that. So I wanted to help him. And after that, I went to play my game, and yeah, he was messaging us. So I think it was about the matter also. So I don't really blame him for that. It's just that I got a bit distracted. And you watch out at this section, and what I tell you about going to the end of the video, you'll not only see the exclusive phrase, and you'll also see this crazy stunt. Well, basically just ran off the ramp in a weird way, and the rock was stuck inside the car, and that is very peculiar in my opinion because rocks don't go through cars and all of that. I have no idea what that is, no idea what happened, and we still survived, and surprisingly not coming last after that crazy stunt, which was unclassified because they didn't give any intro for that. And yeah, that crazy thing over there. And I did give a little bit of a hint over there that our last location will be Osaka, which we did not race on in the previous races at all. The previous 10 races we did not race on Osaka at all. We are using our Porsche now on GT2 RS Club Sport in our final race, which did that crazy barrel roll, that forced barrel roll unintentionally. And we are against another Club Sport, 1 Renault, 2 Aston Martin Vantages, 2 W12 Coupes, and 1 Vulcan. And it's time to, this is the final race of the video. This is the 11th race, and the end of this race will mark the end of this 18-minute premiere. And I'd like to thank everyone for staying to the end, and I'm sorry to the guy for knocking him down like that so brutally. And besides that, I'd like to thank everyone for staying to the end, to the very end of this premiere. I hope you liked it, and any suggestions on this, you just leave down in the comments below. I'll read it, or maybe send me a tweet and all of that. I'll accept any kind of feedback because I like to grow my channel. So at the end of this race, we do come in second place. We do hold the second place here at the very end of the race. And thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have liked it so far, and subscribe for more Asphalt content, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye. Bye.